And here's our finished coaster. Hey guys, welcome back to Bohemian by Emma. Today I'm going to show you how to make a macrame coaster. So it's a pretty simple process and everyone has their own way, but this is just how I like to make my coasters. So to start off, first you're going to want to cut your first pieces of string. So it will be 4 pieces by 32 inches and 1 piece which is 60 inches. So once you have all your pieces cut, you're going to be folding the 32-inch pieces in half, and one will go horizontal like so, and then you will take the other 3 and you will be making cow hitch knots. So this will be putting the loop behind, folding it over, and then pulling the 2 pieces through, and then you will tighten that. And basically what that is it's a lark's head knot but backwards, and that's because we don't want the ridge that you get with a lark's head knot to be showing for a coaster. So we're going to do the same thing with the other remaining 2 pieces of the 32-inch lengths. Again, you put the loop behind, you fold it over the top, and then you pull the 2 strands through and tighten. So now we have our 2 cords attached, and we're just going to use our last cord that's 32 inches long, and we're going to attach it with a cow hitch knot. And once we finish doing this, you'll notice now we have a total of 6 16-inch cords because we folded in half all of our 32-inch cords, so they'll end up being 16-inch pieces, which is what we want. So then we're going to take our extra long cord, which is 60 inches in length, and instead of folding this one in half, we're going to fold it so that one piece will be 16 inches like the rest of the cords that are already attached, but the other side will be much longer. And this is because that long strand will end up being our filler cord as we work around our coaster, and so you just want to leave that one long. So we're going to attach this piece like the other pieces with a cow hitch knot. And then we're going to pull the ends through, and you just want to make sure you pull each with equal tension so you don't get a change in length. And when you're finished, you should see that one of the cords is the same length as the other, and then that long one will be much longer. So we're going to take this loop at the top and we're going to put the strands of the horizontal cord through itself like so. And we're just going to tighten this. So just keep adjusting this horizontal cord and pulling it tighter and tighter until you have all of your other cords right next to each other, because this is the center of our coaster and we don't want a hole in the middle. So we're just going to keep adjusting until we have it completely tight and there's no gap in the center. So now I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to move on. I'm just going to spread these out so that you can see. We're going to be working around clockwise, with this long piece being our filler cord. So it's going to be circling around like so, and we're going to keep going around and knotting around this filler cord until we finished. So to start off, we're going to be making double half hitch knots. So we're going to take this first cord and make a double half hitch knot over our filler cord. And again, if you need help with how to make a double half hitch knot, I've linked my basic knots tutorial below, so you can check that out to see how to make a double half hitch knot. But yeah, so this coaster is basically just a bunch of double half hitch knots, and for this first round we're just going to make 1 double half hitch knot with each strand that we've attached. And now we're getting to the end of this first set of double half-hitch knots. So you can see this is the last cord that has not been used yet. So we're going to make our final double half-hitch knot. And then as we finish this, you will notice that there's a pretty large gap right here in between where we started and where we finished. And since this is a circular piece that we want to lie flat, we want to fill in that gap so that we have a nice flat coaster that doesn't get all lumpy and wavy. And again, the first few coasters you make might have that issue, but don't worry, with practice this will get better. So we're going to measure the length of one of the cords that we've used, and we're going to cut a piece that is double that length so that when we fold it in half it will be the same. And we're going to attach it to our filler cord with another cow hitch knot. And so usually on this first round of knots I attach two additional pieces because this first gap is so large. So again, we're attaching two extra pieces, and the length that I cut is around 24 inches, so that when you fold it in half it's about 12 inches, and that should be enough for you. You can make it a little bit longer because the cow hitch knot does take up a little bit of that length, but yeah, it should end up being about the same length as the other ones. And then once you do that, you can keep making double half hitch knots, and every time you see a gap where it just feels like a little bit far and a little bit of a reach for your next cord, for your next double half hitch knot, you can just again cut another piece of cord that's about the same length as the other cords in your coaster and attach that. So again, here we have another gap, so I'm going to take another 24-inch piece of cord and attach it with a cow hitch knot. So then that fills out that gap really nicely, and we can continue making double half hitch knots. So you just want to keep adding extra pieces of cord with a cow hitch knot every time you get a gap, and that will keep your coaster being nice and even and flat. And you don't have to worry too much about this. It's kind of just whatever you get a feel for. As long as your coaster is not feeling really tight and bunched up, you're probably doing it right. So there's no exact science or number of cords that you need to use. It'll be slightly different every time you make a coaster. Just use your best instinct. So again, I saw another gap that looked a little large to me, so I added another piece of cord. And now that feels a lot more even to me, so I'm going to keep making double half hitch knots. And you can keep adjusting your coaster. Don't be afraid to move it around and kind of like make adjustments by flattening it out with your hands or like folding it in or something like that. It will be a little lumpy as you work on it, but it should, when you finish it, it should be fairly flat. So again, I just continue making double half hitch knots, and whenever I see a gap, I just cut a length of cord and I attach it with a cow hitch knot so that it matches the length of the other cords, and then there's no more gap. So we're almost done here. I can tell that we're getting to the ends because the cords that we started off with are getting pretty short. So we're almost done, and you can see that last knot I did, it was pretty short. So I can see that we've done about 5 or 6 rounds if you count the number of rings that you have. And that's about how big I want it and about how big I have cut the original materials for. So we're gonna, do you see this gap in here? We're gonna take our filler cord and we're gonna put it through. And this is how we tie off our coaster. You don't have to do this step, but I like to do it for a little extra security that my coasters won't unravel or fall apart. So I just pull it through that gap right there to the back side. And then through the loop I have created by doing so, I just wrap my cord inside like I'm about to tie a knot. So you see I've wrapped it around itself like that. And then I just tighten that. And that's like, if you were to tie a knot, that'd be like half of the knot. So then to do the whole knot, I will take one of the cords behind that, and I'm just going to finish it off with the second tie. So you can see once I've got that first half tight, I'm just going to take that second cord and I'm going to tie it once so that it's pretty tied off and it feels more finished to me that way. So all we have left to do now is just to trim all these extra ends off and brush it out. So after you trim it the first time, it can be really uneven like this, and it doesn't matter because we just need it to be shorter so that we can brush it out easy. And I'm using a little pet brush because that makes the combing process much easier than trying to use a fine-tooth comb. And once you've brushed it out, I like to do the front side and the back side, but once you've brushed it out, then you can trim it one more time so that it's nice and even. So you can see I've brushed it out, and I'm just going to trim it one more time to get all the ends looking nice and even. And then if you want to be a perfectionist like me, you can brush it out one more time after you've trimmed it. And here's our finished coaster, and you can see that it's pretty flat, and that's because we had a nice even tension and we added enough cords but not too many while we were working on this, so now it's a nice even flat surface and you can just use it as a coaster. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. Subscribe for more and check out my Etsy shop in the link below if you want to pick up a couple of these coasters or maybe a wall hanging or two. Thanks for watching.